Hi everyone, I'm Grahtles and welcome to part 2 of our Iron Factory in the Best Start series. So this is episode 8. So we are going to continue doing what we were doing. I did want to show you, let me hop back into first person. I did some changes here. So when I was doing the math for the screws, which take 12.5, it works out to about 38. So I ended up sticking 2 down on this side because we had 32, and I added another 4 on this side. So this way we have the 38. They're very valuable. Let's just say that. I also put in this lighting. That is very much what I had as far as blueprints go. Nothing too crazy, just to light up the room. It was very dark because I added some floor up above. So let's go ahead and jump up there and see where we're going to start our rotors, reinforced plates, and modular frames. So here's where we are, and I did a little bit of math, which, I hope it works out. Because I probably spent 3 hours trying to do the math, and it probably shouldn't have took that long. Most people would probably take 10 minutes, but you know. So I did mark out this white spot right here, and I'm thinking that is pretty middle. I'm gonna double check though. So I'm just gonna count this out, and I'll be back. 1. So I got 21 to here, and I'm not sure I want to start here. So I'm thinking 19. Half of 19 would be 8 and 8 is 16, 9 and 9 is 18. It would be 9 plus the extra one in the middle. So that would be 9. That would be the extra, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's if we decide not to include the elevator section, which I'm not so sure. I might anyway. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to split it up. We're going to do the easiest one first. We're going to do rotors. And what we're going to need to do is set up 4 assemblers, 4 constructors, and 8 constructors. 4 for screws, 4 for rods, if that makes sense. I'm going to come off here, and I think we could fit this on this side. So let's just take an assembler out here. I'm going to place it right there. And then do this. Alright, so that's 4. Not too bad. Next, we need 8 constructors. Not sure if we should put them on top of each other. How many squares does this take up? 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 and a little bit. Constructors, let's get them out. Let's see. Line one of these up with one of the inputs here. Like that. And do this. So take this one. Line it up with that input. Whoops. Take this one. Line it up with this one. And do the same thing right here. So each one of these is going to go straight from here to there. There we go. These are going to be making screws. What I'm going to do though, these need, what are we doing? Rotors. These need 20 rods per minute and 100 screws per minute. This is on screws. If we want to do 100 screws per minute, we need to crank that up right there, and the target rate is 100 per minute. That's exactly what we need. We're going to copy this, and we're going to paste this, and do it right down the line. And it'll take your power shards as long as you have them on you. We have quite a few power shards. I'm not too worried. Next, I think what we're going to do is take this, turn it into a 4, go up a little bit, and then press E. I think it's fine because the power is towards the back. So I'm okay with that. It's not clipping at all. I'm going to just zoop this. There, down the line. And that's going to come over to there. Now, the only problem we have here is that doesn't match up quite there, which is fine. So we'll just do this. And vertical. And do that. So it kind of fits in there nicely. Next, we're going to take a constructor and put it on top. I'm just going to make a ramp from here to there. And I'm going to grab a constructor. And I want this to go this way. And I really want the output to line up. I'm going to press H with that. So now the only way I'm going to get that to do that is if I did something. I fell off. Of course I fell off. I always fall off. We'll do something like that. And now we grab a constructor. It should give us those lines. There we go. I'm going to line that up there. It's fine. It doesn't hit that. I'm going to turn around and make this rods. These need to be 20 per minute. So let's stick that in there. We're just going to turn around and make this 20 per minute. Hit enter. There we go. And now we can just copy this machine, get on top here, and line this up with the next one. I'm trying to see. I think we're going to have to use these guys in order to get them kind of lined up. Doesn't have to be perfect. As long as they can kind of see it, they'll be happy to line up. Let's go like that. There we go. Let's make sure we're lined up with this guy. That's perfect. There we go. There we go. Alright, so all these guys are lined up. So now, we could either... I think we're going to bring these down from the other side. The reason being is, it's just easier. Let's get rid of this. To see where it's going to place. Like that. Instead of trying to judge the height. Alright, now we need ingots. I'm going to show you this is no power and we need ingots. So what I'm thinking is power. I think I'm going to, let's do this. See what's underneath here. There, underneath there. So as far as power goes, let me see, because we don't have a logistics floor between these two. We do have power here. Let's bounce down. Should we have put a logistics floor here? I don't need, it's not necessary. I don't think it's necessary. We have a logistics floor there. We could run power. Say, let's do this. If I go like that, I want to make that into a power thing. There we go. That comes up right about there. Next, let's go ahead up. And we could probably do something right along here and then drop it back over or in, maybe over the lights. Anything that will make it look a little bit better. I would have liked this to go in towards the wall a little bit further, but it won't. I don't know if I can H this. I can. All right. We're gonna put it there. Just makes it a little tighter. I'm gonna run that right there. Connect that to there. Next, I want to see if I could run that up to there. That looks pretty neat. And what happens if I remove that? I have to get up to the next level to kind of see better. So let's grab the elevator. Yeah, there's no space between there and there. I would have liked to see some space between the light, and I don't, which is actually a good thing. You're not supposed to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this light fixture here. And I'm going to see if I can grab that wall outlet, put it there, connect that to that, and then maybe we could put that light back without it being seen. Not very sure. I think that works. Yeah, it does. Alright, let's go back up to the top now. Alright, so we came right about here. There's that wall outlet. And maybe what we can do... Let's get rid of this and this a second. I could possibly... I got an idea. Alright, let's put that back. Let's come between the two of these guys. And I think what I can do is... Yeah, I could definitely fit one there. Alright. We're gonna grab this wall outlet right here. Might be able to see a little bit better here. One, two. Maybe we put it right there. And then 1, 2. Probably put it right there. Let's connect that up with that. Connect that with that. Alright. Now, we should be able to hook that to that. And these two. I think we could even do those guys. And then we'll do the ones up top here too. Whoa. Okay, power is in. Now, wow. Alright, now let's go ahead and pick rotors, which I did not do. I'm gonna Control C, Control B, all the way down the line. And now we need to get those ingots up here. Get rid of that, take that, put it there. Just gonna paint that white. Looks a little bit better. Alright, let's cover this. So my thought was, I'm gonna drop down here. There. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run. I'm just gonna grab this guy. We need to grab 3 of these and pull them up. One of them is going to go directly to the rotors, and the other 2 are going to go up to the next floor eventually. But I'm going to use this to drop down. I'm going to put some floor holes in. That is definitely going to help us out a lot. I'm going to grab 7, which is our hot bar. And that's gonna come down a little lower. So what we're gonna do is just do that and that. We're gonna grab... Now these have to be R pointed in. We have to do that for all three. Now that we set it, should be fine. And last there. Alright. So we still have 3 sets over here. What we'll do is... let's get rid of this. Here's where our merge is. I'm going to bring that. That's perfectly to the ceiling. That's going to be the next one. And lastly, that one. So I'm just taking a look here. This actually snaps into here. That's fine. We could bring the furthest one and bring it around. So that's what we're going to do so nothing gets tangled in with each other. I'm going to press R and make it straight. I'm just going to come this way. Where am I? I'm stuck on something. Oh, that's what I'm stuck on. Okay. I could bring it this way if I wanted to. That looks pretty neat and clean. I'm pretty happy with that. What we'll do is go like that. Bring this right next to this guy. I'm gonna go from here. There we go. And lastly, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the merge positioning. So we could do that. It's just merging together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out. We're going to put a merger on here. Point it that way. And we'll point that one out. It doesn't really matter. And then now, I'm going to merge this way. It'll bring this a little bit easier and closer to where we need to be. So we'll go like that. Go like that. Lift up. We'll get this lined up here with this one. Nope, that clips in. Because that... it's the slightest bit of clipping, but it's not bad. I'm okay with it. Alright, so let's go up. Alright, so I'm gonna go to the top floor. I know we didn't bring the ingots all the way up yet, but there's a thing we have to look at. Where we want to come in with the ingots on here. So this has to split in 4. So it can definitely go down a line. So it's got to split on the top and split on the bottom though. So what we're gonna do here. Alright, I keep forgetting there's no logistics floor there. But there's a logistics floor here. That's not exactly gonna help me. And this is why I put logistics floors, honestly, in between every one. For some reason, I wasn't really thinking that we needed one. Although, this ceiling is pretty darn high, and I was thinking we could actually possibly bring this down and just have like a drop ceiling for where we need it to bring in some of those ingots. So I'm thinking let's just run that way, and let's see if we take off of here, we could possibly bring it in there. Let me see. I need to put a staircase here because I don't want to take steps. I mean, I don't want to take the elevator every time I need to go up steps. Up a floor. You know, I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's fine. There we go. Alright, so up from this logistics floor, if we... Put that away. If we come up, we could come all the way up. I don't know why that's open. Nothing's going there. We could bring this all the way up to there and point it that way. So let's go ahead. Telling you, when I say I winged this, I winged it. I had no idea what I was planning on doing. So it either could go there. Yeah, it definitely has to go there. Definitely has to go there. It just makes the most sense. But that's not going to be a bad idea here. I'm definitely going to have to fix the floors when we're done. Probably put some glass in here, whatever we want to do. But anyway, that's where it's going to be. Again, we're going to decorate and fix the building either in this episode at the end or the next episode. It all depends on time and how much time I have. Because, you know, I have a tendency of making very long videos lately. And again, some of you like it, some of you may not. I don't know. Leave it in the comments below. Alright, I'm gonna go like this for now. I'm gonna bring these into here, and then figuring out where we are above, which maybe should open this up, and I could take this staircase here, and I can make this come to here, so we can actually see where we're going. So we're gonna want this to come in bare minimum the middle. That's maybe. So I'm not sure how we're gonna split this up, but so we have to get half up there, half up there. That's 240. We could possibly split that with a splitter. But we still should be on an end where we start. So these guys, let's start putting splitters in. We're going to start probably by the end here. I think that makes the most sense. We'll just do this, that, and that. And then with these guys... how do we want to do this? That's gonna bust right into the machine, no? Yeah, if we put a splitter on that, it will. I think we're gonna raise these up. I don't want them clipping into anything, because then that would look pretty bad. This one, I might have... Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because then we're gonna have to take this down into here. And it's gotta have a splitter in here somewhere. Let's see what we got here. Can we fit a splitter here? We could. So what I'm thinking... But I think I'd prefer this probably being there. And then putting a splitter here. Where would that come down? Let's see what I got here. Wow, I did not mean to fall. Let's see, can we do this? And that. And then that. That works for me. That means we just need to go like this. And like that, and it goes through that ceiling. So I have an idea of what we can do. That's going to be the in. We're going to put something with an out right about here. Oh, it should have probably been a little closer. Let's try that again. Make sure it has an out. And make sure it lines up perfectly with that guy. Alright, now grab a lift. And that just made a stubby guy. And those come in handy, as you can see, right here. So I think what I'm going to do, I am going to take that off. I'm going to come around. I'm going to take this off a minute so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to grab a 3. And this is going to go straight. I want to keep this on the white here. Could be on the edge. I don't mind that. This is going to wrap around. And because I can go up this ladder a little bit, I want this to the middle. There. Now I can drop down. In here. Now that, I don't want that to connect there like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and hopefully, I go like that. That will connect into there. Just, yeah, that's perfect. And then we could do this and that. Alright, so that should be bringing those ingots in. And that should be starting to work. There we go. Alright, so we're going to let that go and we'll check on that in a little bit. And that worked out quite nicely. So that's going to be just rotors. That's all just rotors. I do want to see how the ingots are coming in for these guys. Make sure they're coming in pretty decently. We could actually put some of the ingots that I still have in my pocket in some of this. And then that will help that to fill up. Once they fill up, then we should be fine. Now these guys didn't get power. So where can we draw off some power? So we did have power here. And what I'm thinking is we could put it, so keeping it in the ceiling like that should work. We have 4 machines. 1, 2, 3, 4. What if we do that? Alright, let's try that again. Let's grab that. Put it right in here. Alright. Now, let's grab the power here. 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 And here. And that seems to work. Alright, so that's going to get to work making our rotors. And next we have a big task of doing a ton of reinforced plates. So, I'm going to prep us up for that. I think we're going to build it on this side. So I want to check up on the reinforced plates and notice that we didn't have enough ingots. And then I came back and realized I didn't put the conveyor belt in. It's always good to go check your work because that happens all the time, unfortunately. So yeah, now we should be getting the right amount of ingots, which is a good thing. I'm just going to put this floor back. I have a lot of floors that I took out. I kind of do that when I'm looking to see where I'm going and I follow the route. So I'm going to have to put those floors back again. Not a big deal. But I did do some work. So let's come back up. I think we're going to come out this way. Alright. So what I did was I just added a half a foundation and put in these fix-it walls. They're alright. They're not great, but they'll do for what that is. And it just takes up less space. This one, I didn't need a half. It was pretty much half. So I just put the walls. But anyway, over here. Reinforced plates. I have 10. 10 of these going down the line. This is where it gets a little more complicated because we need 600 screws. 600 screws is more than the belt can carry. So I'm going to need 10 constructors making 600, and I'm going to have to split that up. So I'm going to have 8 constructors with the 480. Then I'm going to have to split the next line a little bit. So I'm going to start off slow so you can hopefully follow. So the first thing we're going to need is constructors. I'm going to set down 10. Where do we want to come in? I guess right there would be good. Let's go ahead and put screws on. It's on screws. But this, instead of 100 per minute, is going to be 60 per minute. So we only need 1 power slug. Kind of good. We save a little bit. I'm going to go down the line. So, as you can see, what I should have did was exactly what I did over here. And the reason being is we don't need to manifold this. In fact, we can't manifold this. But each one of these reinforced plates in here takes 60 per minute. So I just wasted your time, my time, putting these all down. Because what we need to do is we need to line these up with the hole and do it that way. This way we don't need a manifold, and we have a lot less counting to do with splitting up machines and everything else. So we're going to do it just like that. Alright, so as I said before, we can only carry 480 on this belt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color code with X. Let's just make it blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have 2 left on the end here. I'm just going to make them a totally different color just so you could see better. There we go. These can take one of those lines. So let's go ahead and see where we are with these lines. That's going to have to come back either this way or that way. I think we'll come this way. It's a little easier. We're going to have to split this here somewhere. I'm just going to open this up because it's a lot easier to see where we're going. I'm going to see where we have that drop ceiling. Okay, there we go. We have it there. Can I get in here? There we go. Perfect. I can walk here, so that's fine. And then that is going to lead us to here, which will probably need a little bit of that. There we go. Maybe. We probably won't. So this is going to go down the line here. What we'll do is let's go ahead and put splitters here. Starting from here, we're going to put the input there. So it's going to go in there and out that way. I want the input there. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to put the input this way so it can go down the line. All right. That's that. Like we did before, we're going to put one of those stubby little guys there. So I'm just going to bring it back to about there. Connect this to this. Actually, I'm going to connect it down below. It's not quite lined up. Of course not. There we go. Make sure it's lined up. And now, come on. There we go. Take that out. And now we have to run our next set. I'm going to take from the inside one because that outside one is going to go the other way. So let's grab the conveyor. We're going to come down this line here. I do want this to kind of lift up. That looks really funny, but it is allowing me to do it, which is weird. I think I'm going to go there. I think it can cut in a little bit. That's fine. All right. Come straight down here. I think I'm going to stop it right about here and then go into there. And then that's going to fill up with ingots. Alright, so that's 480. Now we only have one last 480 to go. And we need to split this up in a way that we're going to get enough for the last two to make iron screws and the others to make plates. So this is what we're going to do. We know it can carry 480. So we don't have to split anything up. What we have to do is put these two together and then put the top row of plates onto it. So I think we're going to do what we did over here. And I think what I'll do is, just to make it easier, because everything is lined up. Oh, that is not lined up. That does come a little forward compared. And I didn't want that. That's why I left those back a little further. You know, it's always something. But it's fine, because we can come this way. We can actually drop those probably right into the machines, which is not a bad deal. So let's go forward. Let's go to there. I'm gonna grab that. And just going to, let's get out of there. This one, yeah, we need to keep it just for now. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a 4. And vertical. And then I'm gonna do our little ramp here. There we go. We're gonna grab a constructor, and I just want to see this is close enough that it will line up. Now we know that these are lined up to the second one. Let's stand on top of this. So we want this one. Wow, I just fell off and I didn't want to. Well, we got a ladder. Alright. We want this one to not line up with this. We want it to line up here. So I'm just going to take a belt here just a second. Just to see where this is going to sit. Let's just leave it right there. I'm going to push H and move it over to about there. I'm going to click it in. I'm going to remove the lift. I'm going to take the lift back. And that does not work. Because I have that backwards. Okay. So I think it's right here. That is perfect. Take that constructor. Actually, you know what? Don't take that constructor. We need to switch this to iron plates. And this is going to be 30 per minute. That's exactly what we want. Okay. Let's change the color. This way we know that that's our plates. Let's grab that. Again, we're going to have to line it up with that. But these are in the way, of course. So I'm going to have to line it up here. H. And then move it back. So each one is going to have to be placed. And then we're going to have to remove it. And then place it again. And make sure we have it the right facing. That's also an issue all the time. Hopefully that's the spot. I think it is. Nope, I'm off just a little bit. Let's grab it again. Now it's backwards again. Every once in a while, you will have issues. Trust me, it's just a game. Alright. We're gonna have to do the next one. I'm trying to see the spacing. It's very difficult to see the spacing. I think it's there. If I can get the spacing right, then we probably can remove these and see how that works. Seems like they're next to each other and one next. The next one after they're next to each other. Yep, that seems to work. Alright, I'll stop talking and I'll keep working. Alright, all the plates are in. So now, this last 480, that is going to take care of those 2 screws, those 10 iron plates, and we're going to make 5 making rods. So, right now, we're going to have to split this 3 ways. There's just no way about it. We have no choice. It's the way it's going to have to be. We're going to have to set up some splitters. Let's do that first. And then we're going to figure out where we're going to go from there. So I'm going to grab that splitter. This one is going to go here. Not there. I want to come in there. And there. There we go. The next splitter, this is going to be probably here. Let's move it back one. That is going to go up to, let's see, we're going to put a lift on these. So let's do that. The next thing we're going to have to do is this is going to have some kind of lift here. What I'm thinking is, let's go ahead and plant this, pretty high up. I want to do that. And I'm wondering if I can get that one on the top. Whoa. That one on the top. Is that nice and clean? Does that sink to it? We need to get back up on here. There we go. That'll help. That needs to be, I think, one higher. Let's see. That's too low. That looks a little too high. Strangely enough, that looks better than the other, so I don't think it goes higher. I think it's just an optical illusion, honestly. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, come from here, that's going to go into here, and that's going to go into there. So that's where that's going to split, that's going to split, and then let's take a look at what else we got. We're going to need to make rotors, not rotors, we're going to need to make rods and then modular frames. We're only going to do modular frames, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them I think we're going to do. Let me close that off. I don't know why that's open. Alright. I'm going to take a step and I'm going to put the electric in. Reason being is it takes a little while and I already showed you once. I don't think, oh wow, that comes through. I don't like the way that comes through. We're gonna have to fix that. I don't like that at all. We're gonna have to definitely fix that. And I think it's because that drops down into the ceiling. So we're gonna remove that. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this. We're gonna take this. I'm gonna grab this one. Did I grab it? I think I did. I'm gonna put that there. Now, let me just look and see. What is that gonna disconnect? I don't think anything. That wire's still there. I don't think this wire is still there. So I think we gotta reconnect this wire. Come on. There we go. So I am... Whoa! I just fell in a hole. So I'm just showing you that I'm fixing this one. Oh, I gotta go up. God dang it. Or do I? No, I don't. I don't have to. It's right here. There we go. I'm gonna leave this open because I need to run this down the line. So I'm just gonna keep it open. So anyway, I'm gonna go back up top, start running the electricity, and then we'll worry about the modular frames and the rods. Alright, so I finished hooking up the electric, and I ran those ingots. So what I did was, where we made that splitter up on top, it's going into there, dropping down into these two screws, going over into the plates, and eventually are going to go into making our rods. So we have not set up our rods yet, but everything seems to be powered up. I think I just need to connect these screws the rest of the way. All right, so I think the best way to do this is to probably come right on the other side of this. Let's actually do this. I'm gonna do this for reference. All right, then I'm gonna take the constructor, put it right there. I want to see how much room we have here. That's fine for a merger. I could even come back a little closer. So what I could do is, if I would have put this, say, here to there. Let's take it back just a little bit. Like that. And I think I'm good with that. Let's make this rods. And now we're just going to go down the line here. So we're going to grab this splitter. And it's got to come in from here. Then this one has got to get turned. It's got to come from there to there. That's too close to this. Let's do that again. That is super close. I don't know if I like it that close. Oh, let's see. Oh, it'll work. So that, as long as it works, we're good. Alright. Let's set this up. This goes into here. There we go. So the next thing we need is power again. I already have one here. I'm just gonna slide over to here. Just like that. Alright, so these are all making the rods we need for the modular frames. Next, I don't think this is going to be anything crazy, but I'm gonna take this over here. I'm gonna take this here, and I think we're gonna use up this space over here. So I think I'm gonna make this white. So let's do that. And this could be part of the factory. I thought it was going to go higher. And when I saw the amount of space we had up here, I knew we didn't have to go anything crazy. And that is why I was like, you know what? I think we're going to leave it and just build it right on here. And that works for me. Alright, what we're going to do is line these up with an output. And I think we could do this quite nicely. And then we're just going to line these up like this, like that, and like that. So now we need to bring in electric. We also need to bring in 5 of those reinforced plates to come into here. And these are going to make modular frames. Alright. We have 2 choices. We can go underneath, like we have been, with the other stuff. I want to see what our room looks like in here. We need to bring 5 conveyor belts through, and that's tight there. What I'm thinking is, what we might do is put a ceiling on this and go above and make another, I guess, logistics floor. I think what we're gonna do is, I want this to still have that kind of follow-up of that. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it more solid though. For now. I don't know. This might get changed later. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make this. And then I'm gonna take this and zoop this. Alright, so now that I've done that, I want to look back here, probably for a height. So I'm going to grab here, and I'm going to press vertical. I'm just going to go up by 10. Definitely not going to be using 10. I'm going to take these down. There we go, there we go. gonna grab those walls that I had put up over there. Let's come over to here. There's our basic wall. I'm just going to stick this right on the end. There we go. I'm gonna check height. Now I did take off those ramps, but I think I do want to put that back up a second. Because I just want to see. Let's go this way. Damn Zoop. There we go. Alright, so now that I'm up, let's get all the way up on the highest point here. I'm gonna just take this. I'm gonna make it a 1 meter. I want it to zoop. Yeah, I think that's tall enough. I'm pretty good with that. That's about the height I think we're gonna make it then. I'm gonna grab that. And I'm just gonna go and fill in the roof. Alright, that should be enough, I think. Let's just make sure. We can come down this way. Alright, so how many do we fit onto here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do. I'm going to put a ramp to here. I am going to take a lift and just kind of go like that with each one. Alright, that's 5. We're gonna come over to here. We're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna be bringing them up this way. There we go. And next, we're just gonna take these and almost, let's do it this way. I like it better this way, so we'll just come. And we're just gonna have to take them all straight. Alright, there goes all those reinforced plates. Next, we just need to power up these machines. So let's go over this way. We know we got the power in one of these floors. Alright, all our modular frames are up and running. Rods are filling up nicely. That's excellent. Our rods are all here. Just gonna go over to here, see if we have anything going on. Nope, our screws are filled over there. Let's come over to our plates really quickly. Let's fix that up. Those are yellow still. I just want to see why. We're still slow on ingots here. Let's see what's going on. It slowed up quite a bit. I think it's because it filled up those rods. Because here comes a ton more. And if it continues to go down, should be fine. Once these all fill up, I think we'll have no problem. We just have to wait for them to fill up. So that's going to be running for a little bit anyway. I'll be right back because I'm going to try to figure out how I want to kind of decorate the building. And yeah, then we can go from there. I'll be back. So a lot of the fill-ins of what I did were done somewhat off camera, and some of it I sped up into a kind of collage of things that I did. Doing the majority of it, I had to add lights where not lights were needed. I didn't think I needed to leave that in. I needed to make the building solid, and I kind of just went with what I was already doing, adding those angled windows, and like I said, just making the foundation solid. So a lot of that I either cut out or I sped up, but I will do a cinematic at the end. I will come back at the end and stay to the end. I think you'll like the final results. Also, I'm going to save the door for the last thing because I want to make that a little unique since the building is unique as well. So I'll show you how I did that. So yeah, I'll see you in a couple minutes. Alright, so we're ready to complete this with a door. So what I'm thinking is I want some kind of massive kind of entrance in here. I'm just going to remove those two. I'm going to go into foundations. I'm going to grab this quarter one. And if I can squeeze it in there, I'm going to press H, nudge it over, 4, and lock it in. Spinning this one around, H, 1, 2, whoops, wrong way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Click it in. Come on, I don't need 2. There we go. On the outer sections of this, I'm going to need a half foundation. I'm going to put this in here. Press H, move it over. Click it in. Let's grab that again. That's the wrong way. Flip it. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, so now I gotta make this concrete. Next, I have to paint this, that chrome finish. We got this nice little archway. So next, I'm gonna go into walls. I'm gonna go into this automated gate. I'm gonna put it right there, press H, and back it up by 1, 2, 3, 4. Click it in. I'm gonna put one on top of this if I can. It might not let me. There we go. Come on. You gotta click it just right. And then put a third one there. And a fourth one. Let's see if we can get that. Come on. This one's a little more difficult. I can't seem to get to the top. You gotta kind of point it at the gate, but from the top. So maybe what we'll do is, here, this is what we're gonna do. We gotta point this at this side, erase that one. We're gonna grab this one, put it on top here. Press H, move it up, nope, not back. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 5. Click it in, and now I can put one there. Come on. There we go. Let's take a step back. So there we got this kind of grand entrance to our iron factory. And then we're going to come in, and that's the smelting room. And everything's in here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a cinematic to show you everything I've done. Coloring, painting, windows, everything. And we'll be back. So that's going to conclude today's episode on the Iron Factory. Yes, it was a 2-part series. It did take quite a bit of time, and I left all the building on. So, pretty much all the building. You got the gist of pretty much most of it. But anyway, if you liked what you saw, I really appreciate. If you like the videos, maybe you could subscribe. I have memberships. I have a Discord. Memberships are 99 cents, $2.99 a month, and you just get some emojis and some shout outs in my videos for the $2.99 one. And next episode, let's talk about that. Next episode, I think we're going to clean up all these foundations. We're going to get rid of where the hub is sitting and all this other stuff going on here. We have some iron still, I think screws, plates, all that stuff we need to kind of sink and get rid of. We're already making some up there. I do have to do some storage areas. I figured you guys, there's a lot of logistics floors. You could figure out how to run that. I'm not even sure how I'm going to run it. But I do want to move the biomass. I probably will move it. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe by the coal up there. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's the next episode. We're going to just do some cleanup and maybe make a permanent home for the hub. And again, I really appreciate you guys watching, commenting, subscribing, doing all those good things. And thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye.